and format of Write Essay in PTE. This video is a continuation of my previous two videos which I have already uploaded. So make sure you watch those before you watch this video because some of the subsections of scoring I have mentioned in those videos. In this video, I'll be mainly dealing with development, structure and coherence. In development, structure and coherence, 2 marks are awarded if your essay shows good development and logical structure. 1 mark is given if it is less well structured and paragraphs are poorly linked together. No mark will be given if it lacks coherence. So technically, this is all about structure of your essay as well as coherence. The essay should be in logical sequence and the paragraph should be linked together in order to get 2 marks. So how can we do that? First of all, your essay contains 3 main parts: introduction, body paragraphs and conclusion. There is no universal format to write an essay, but make sure you always write introduction and conclusion in your essay, and they should be clear. First of all, how to write a good introduction of an essay. Again, there is no set rules and regulations to write introduction. First of all, try to see the keywords of the prompt. Try to identify the keywords, and the first sentence of the introduction should be based on those. Next is paraphrase the prompt. In every prompt, they have mentioned some of the questions or some of the facts, and try to paraphrase, but you can skip if you like. Third portion is give answers to the prompt question in next sentence. The prompt question should be answered in next sentence, and it is the most important section and it should never be skipped. They can ask you regarding your opinion, they can ask you regarding whether you are agree or disagree with the prompt question. So make sure you answer the prompt question clearly. Do not write in this essay we'll discuss about pros and cons of technology, or I'll discuss about this section, or in this essay we'll be discussing about advantages and disadvantages of TV. There's nothing wrong in writing that, but if you see university level essays or newspaper essays, these things are never written in those. It doesn't look formal and it doesn't look sophisticated if you write in this essay I'll discuss advantages and disadvantages of something. Just try to avoid it. Don't mention any solution, example or effects in the introduction. They should be in body paragraphs. Do not just mention any solution to any problem in introduction itself. Let's take this example. In a war of ideas, it is people who get killed. Does a common man suffer from a group's ideology? Express your opinion and support the same with reasons and examples. So if you read this prompt, it contains so many aspects. The first aspect is this. The second aspect is this question: does a common man suffer from a group's ideology? The third aspect is express your opinion, and the fourth is support the same with reasons and examples. So make sure you deal with all these aspects properly in order to get 3 marks in the content which I have mentioned in my previous video. So first of all, let's find the keywords. Keywords are war of ideas, groups ideology, ideas and ideology. Next is paraphrase. What should we paraphrase? The war of ideas, people get killed. This line we can paraphrase. Or this line, does a common man suffer from group's ideology? This can be paraphrased. Answer to the prompt. Very, very important. They have asked your opinion. And they have asked a question. Does a common man suffer from a group's ideology? You need to answer this. Either it's yes or it's no. Don't skip it unattended. Don't leave it unattended. And then again, major and minor aspects which I have already explained, these should be dealt with. Okay, the first sentence may be: mankind survives and functions well in groups which fortify mutual respect and understanding among each other. I have written this on the keyword groups. Again, it's your own choice. You can write based on any sentence or based on any keyword you have found in the prompt. Second is paraphrase. But a group's viewpoint sometimes influence others in a negative way and often lead to social disharmony for which a common man suffers. I have paraphrased the prompt. Next is opinion. Therefore, I am in consummately accord with the statement that a common man has to pay the price of the group's ideology. And this is my opinion which I have given, and this should never be skipped. You can paraphrase the introduction. You can write introduction based on your own, if you have any own format, or if you what you think is right. You can write introduction based on your own ideas, but do not miss the opinion. Next example is TV has two roles, awareness and entertainment. Which role do you think is more important? To what extent TV is fulfilling this role? Again, major and minor aspect. It contains two questions. Which role? To what extent? There are two questions, and you need to answer both these questions in your introduction, as well as you need to support both these questions in body paragraphs. So keywords is TV and its roles. Paraphrase and explain. You can awareness and entertainment can be explained. Answer to prompt is which role, what extent. Major and minor aspects. Which role, what extent, and your opinion. Okay. Based on TV, I have written technology gave us an abundance of devices to utilize. TV is one of them. Again, you can modify it. Again, paraphrase and explain. I could have paraphrased the awareness and entertainment, but I skipped this because my introduction was quite lengthy, because I have to answer two questions in my opinion. In my opinion, among its several benefits, news and awareness is of paramount significance as compared to entertaining screenplays. In this, I have answered the first aspect of the prompt. I need to answer the second aspect as well, so do not forget any of the minor aspect. But unfortunately, TV is not fulfilling this role effectively these days. This is the second answer to the second question of the prompt. Just make sure you don't get confused in these two things, because if the prompt is asking you two questions, make sure you write two answers. And this will increase your written discourse marks. Next is body paragraphs. There should be 2 or 3, and you can write 4 as well. There is no set rule. You should support the opinion you have mentioned in introduction. Coherence should be there, which we'll discuss how to improve coherence in my next slide. Describe the idea you have mentioned in introduction. Okay, and while writing two aspects such as causes and effects, better to write them in different paragraphs to avoid vagueness and ambiguity. But it's not compulsory. If you have good control on English, if you have good control over the language, you can mention them together. But if you are a beginner and you have an average level of English just like me, just make sure you write these in two different paragraphs so that you don't get confused and ambiguity should not be there. Let's take this example. TV provides us a sophisticated knowledge regarding a variety of topics in a detailed and focused way. Several lectures of experts and interviews of accomplished persons stimulate the youngsters in positive way. Watching too much TV causes negative effects on the health. It also leads to frustration and anxiety. TV is even useful for those older people who don't have access to internet. So, what's happening here? There's no logical sequence of the paragraphs. The structure of paragraphs isn't good. However, there is no mistake in grammar or in vocabulary or in spellings. But there is no linkage between these two paragraphs. So how can we improve the coherence? The problem here is I was mentioning the positive point of TV. Then suddenly I changed my topic and start mentioning negative points. Again, I started mentioning positive points in second paragraph. So technically, in order to improve coherence, what we can do is we can change the position of this sentence. This sentence should be here. After mentioning all the positive points, then we can mention a negative point. Plus, we can add a word before this sentence, that is however. After writing all the positive points, we can say, however, watching too much TV causes negative effects. Or we can add but watching too much TV causes negative effects. So words like this, however, but, moreover, furthermore, in addition, these words help in increasing coherence. So let's take another example. Every individual should be made accountable for global warming. The government should implement policies to reduce pollution. Every individual should take initiatives to reduce global warming. It is a major responsibility of the government. So again, this paragraph isn't linked together. This paragraph, there's lack of coherence in this paragraph. The things and the different type of sentences are not linked together. There is no logical sequence in this paragraph. So how can we increase or improve the coherence in this? Let's take this example. Every individual should be made accountable for global warming. The first sentence is same. Then I have added therefore. Therefore, every individual means I have changed the sequence of these sentences. I have changed the position of this particular sentence so that we can talk about individuals first and then we'll go to the government. Therefore, every individual should take initiatives to reduce global warming. In addition, the government should implement policies to reduce pollution because it's a major responsibility of the government. So by adding these three words, therefore, in addition, and because, and by just changing the position of these sentences, this paragraph looks more good as compared to this paragraph. This is better. This writing style is far better than this. So you can see the difference. This is how you can add coherence in your body paragraphs. In body paragraph 2, do not contradict your own statement by saying that the other people argue. It will decrease your written discourse points. For example, in first paragraph you are saying TV is very good for us, and then in second paragraph you start writing the other people say TV is not good because it causes these effects and it is bad for our health and it is this and that. Thereby you are contradicting your own statements which you have written in paragraph first. So avoid this. Second is, don't go against your opinion, never. Avoid vagueness. Don't create vagueness in your paragraph, like you are mentioning the positive points, then you start writing negative points, then again you are mentioning positive points, or you are mentioning other people's ideas, or you are supporting other person's views. Just avoid creating vagueness in your essay. Support your opinion and you may give any example, of course, but don't give too many examples. The opinion which you have given in introduction, make sure you support it with reasons and examples. No learned sentences should be written. Learned sentences like health is wealth, where there is will there is a way, such as these idioms can be used but not too many. Do not use any sentence which is so popular and you are just writing the same learned sentence in your PTE writing. Again, be careful with the example. Do not write so many examples. And don't write even a single sentence which is not related to your prompt. It will decrease your written discourse points. Yes, for example, you are describing causes when effects and solutions are asked. You are wasting your lines, your words and your time and your written discourse points. Next is conclusion. Conclusion should be short and it should be central idea of the essay. Start the conclusion with in short, to conclude, in conclusion, instead of writing any learned sentence like hammering the last nail, putting the long story short. These type of sentences should be avoided. You can write any future implication of the trend your essay was based on. And do not add any different idea from essay in the conclusion, and however you can write the solutions to any problem which you have mentioned earlier, such as pollution or global warming. Agree with your opinion you gave in the introduction. This is very important. Do not contradict your statement which you have given in introduction in your opinion. Again, do not forget to check spellings, grammar and punctuation. This is very important. Just make sure you spend 2 minutes in checking spellings, grammar and punctuation. And especially the first letter should be capital after each sentence. After full stop, every letter should be capital. And be careful with the nouns in which requires first letter capital, such as name of the countries, name of the person. So make sure you check this, and this is very important. I often found so many mistakes while checking my PTE essay again, and I corrected them. Again, deal with the prompt to increase content marks. No spelling errors should be there. 10 fancy cool words to improve points in vocabulary. No repetition of words. Grammar should be correct, and make sure you write variety of sentences, and the length should be between 270 to 290 words. Technically it should be between 200 to 300 words, but make sure you write above 270 words to add more vocabulary and more words in your essay. And with this you can easily get above 80 marks. No need to write so much sophisticated language and so much difficult ideas. With this you can easily get above 80 marks because it worked for me. So this was my last video in essay writing, and I'll be dealing with the summary writing in my next videos. And if you have any suggestions or any criticism or anything, you can mention this in comment section. Thank you so much.